Someone yelling at us for being late.
As they should, honestly. As they
They
should.
should. Welcome, everyone, back to another live NFL game reaction. Normally, we've been doing these on Monday Night Football, but there is no more Monday Night Football, or at least no more Monday Night NFL football. But we're here, brought to you by Little Caesars Pizza. Or Stay Hot, they're staying ready. I'm Blaiden Kirk, joined as always by my two favorite co-hosts of all time, Matthew Spinauer, Theo Ash. We're currently watching Ravens and Steelers. We were, debating earlier. I was like, oh, which game do we want to go live during? And we're like, if Steelers Ravens is a game at halftime, we'll chat through that one. And it's kind of a monsoon out there, heavy rain, hard to track the football a little bit. We've seen some bad drops, but it's
Some
7-7
fumbles, the
here.
big thing.
Yeah, some fumbles too.
And some almost fumbles as well. Some plays that the ball kind of came loose for a second and then got, quickly recovered. But it's been a huge factor out there today, and it's still coming down sideways. I thought Mason Rudolph has been okay. Both tackles have been struggling, especially Broderick Jones. So pretty tough to drop back and pass. They haven't totally tried to abandon it, but it's tough sledding.
Najee's been good, though.
And so has Jalen Warren outside of the fumble. They've gotten him the ball in the passing game. There we go, Najee.
Yeah. I might be ahead of you. That's what.
Yeah.
I might be slightly ahead. It's always the struggle with these live streams is we never quite know what time everyone else is on.
Yeah, Najee Harris is top 10. I really have grown an appreciation for his game. I didn't love it at the beginning of the year. He's still, even tonight he had that sideways moment.
Yeah.
But I thought he was running the ball really well in a pretty predictable scheme last year. And I've enjoyed watching him run.
Yeah. I don't know where Matt went, but
who knows where he's at.
Maybe the real Matt was just the friends we made along the way. Will you guys be staying hot and ready for the Texans-Colts game? We're not going to be live during the Texans-Colts game, if that's what you're asking. We tend to not do 5-hour live streams. But, I assume we can talk about it a little bit, like what we expect to happen in that game. Just as we give Najee Harris some props, he gets stuffed at the line and then tries to bounce this one outside.
I had to put my Little Caesar shirt on for Little Caesar.
Oh,
Live.
come on.
Why not?
Why not? I'm wearing the hoodie right now, which, you can't really see that it says Little Caesar.
You can kind of see it. So it sort of shimmers at times.
Yeah. And
I need my
you have it in
breadstick
the hoodie, or you have it on
sweatshirt
the lining on the inside.
Make it obvious.
Theo, you should put the clock behind you. That's really what.
The clock. Clowney going crazy. That was so funny when he hit his incentive earlier. He was celebrating for a solid
How much was it?
$750,000.
Jesus.
Man.
Yeah, I'd be celebrating too.
He was going crazy.
Where's our $750,000 incentive?
Hey, I'm sure if we could get 10 sacks or whatever, they'd give
Yeah,
it.
we're going to need to be a lot better as an edge rusher.
Man, it would suck to be out there just standing on the sideline.
They look so cozy, though. I'm always jealous of the merch or whatever. Not merch.
The merch.
I'm always jealous of the rain gear that they have. They always look so prepared and insulated. They've got the big overcoats. It's where can I buy one of those?
Yeah.
I can't even feel too bad. They got the helmet warmers and big ass heaters. The sideline during a rainstorm, I think it could be kind of it could be kind of nice.
Maybe.
How's TJ Watt not the depoy? Myles Garrett do.
Myles Garrett do. The narratives.
There's another fumble. Bro.
Thoughts on the Bucks losing 4 times in a row to the Pacers? It's
It
the
keep-
regular season. I mean, the Pacers are tough. They can outgun anybody. And it's tough. The Bucks defense has its problems. But I remember, I think the Raptors used to always go undefeated against the Cavs in the regular season, and then it just made no difference. When
Are
it
they in
came.
the same? Are they in the same conference? They are. They're both in the East. It's definitely significant to some extent. It's a top offense that the Pacers have got from an efficiency standpoint, and the Bucks have lost Drew Holiday and they've lost that perimeter defense. It's just sometimes you get these matchups where the Pacers match up well with the Bucks.
Yeah. Thoughts on Will Howard to Ohio State? From what I've seen, I think he'll be better than McCord. He's a dual threat guy. Not that matters in Ohio State's offense at all. You will not see him run. This I can tell you. Dame has not been himself. He's not been himself up to this point. He's getting up there, though. Getting old.
Yeah. How old is Dame at this point?
Maybe I'm wrong, but I always think he's like
He's got to be
33.
31, or is he older than that?
Maybe I'm wrong. Even though 31 is old, I think that's one thing that people kind of underrate, because now a few guys have been able to really push like the limits of their career. He's 33 and a half.
Oh, that half matters.
Yeah. People think that, like, guy starts falling off around that age and people will be like, oh my God, he's washed. And he is, like, I get what they mean by that, but I always feel like we don't ever give players breaks where it's like, well, yeah. At some point it's like, well, dude, that's how it goes, man.
Yeah.
It's because a handful of these guys are just being pesky and being good forever.
LeBron.
And they're ruining it for everybody else.
LeBron, primarily.
LeBron was good for a long time, and Chris Paul and Steph Curry and Kawhi and guys like that.
Mm-hmm. So are the Steelers, they're not out. They're not eliminated if they lose this game, right?
I think they are.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're just playing for fun.
I mean,
Let's look it up.
yeah.
I believe that they are.
Well, we're about to run the numbers real quick.
What is their game plan going forward?
Well, they can't go back to Pickett because he's benched for this game. They're either going to have a Baker Mayfield, Kyle Trask mid-off next year, or they obviously get a rookie. I mean, Russ wouldn't be a bad spot. You got Pickens, you got an offensive line, you've got a power running game, you got a defense.
What does that really do for him, though?
I mean, they're gonna be 10-7 anyway.
Here's someone's starting Bo Nix, man. Why not Pittsburgh, man? I actually don't really know what I think about Bo Nix as a prospect. But he's played forever in college.
They should draft Daniels.
They could. But there's a lot of teams
so-
saying we should draft somebody, and only four or
Right.
5 guys, depending on who you count.
So even if the Steelers lose today, they could make the playoffs if the Titans and Broncos both win.
And if they win,
if the Steelers win, then
What?
Titans or Dolphins would lock it up for them.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. It's pretty doable.
It is. So either way, I mean,
Morgan Moses is moving like the thwomp at right tackle from the Mario football team, going around Twitter one-on-one with TJ Watt. This is not it.
Good cologne recommendation? I don't know. I have like one cologne I wear occasionally. That's one of those things where I get it, and then it's just like it's not who I am. That's not my style.
I've been using the same cologne for a while. It's from Abercrombie, like almost everything I own at this point. The fact
like
that
your stuff.
Abercrombie doesn't sponsor me is a crime.
I think you need to get in the modeling circuit is how that happens,
Oh,
not the sports podcasting business.
well, I'm not a model.
Not yet.
Feels like I'm
Not
watching
yet.
Iowa versus
So
Minnesota.
true.
I didn't realize that Minnesota was so good at college football in the 40s. I was looking back at this. I didn't realize they had 5 natties. Shout out to them.
Row the boat.
Shout out to them.
I feel really no allegiance to U of M. I've got friends who go there. I would feel glad for them. But a lot of the friends who went to the U of M that I have are not big football fans. They're
That makes it tough.
my friends from theater, so it's like I don't I don't know how moved they'd really be.
Yeah.
The 1940 national champion Gophers don't mean much. Oh, I've realized this take today. Maybe this is obvious, but I got this one. People love college football, like NCAA, so much more than Madden, just because college football is cooler.
Like the structure of it and being in
Yeah,
charge
it's just
of the
cooler.
team. It is more empire building, I think, from the standpoint of, we love turning a bad team into a good one, and like how meteoric of a rise that would be,
It's right. Like you
There's
can't
definitely a
pull
lot
off.
more scenarios.
There's
that
more you
happen.
can do. Like you can't pull off a crazy upset in Madden. Not really.
Yeah, I agree. I can see the vision there. It lends itself super well to a video game just because of that aspect. I think like the world is bigger, like the map is bigger and better. And there is.
I agree, but I have a funny feeling we're gonna get like 3 months into the new NCAA game, and everyone's gonna be like, "This is just Madden," with like different jerseys, and it's.
I don't think it's going to be like that at all.
You don't
You
think
think it's
so?
going to be a banger?
Yeah, I do.
I hope
That's
so.
that's one of my. I think NCAA is
hope
going to
it
be
is.
great.
I hope it's.
Well,
great.
for starters, the number one thing that kills Madden is that the franchise gets boring.
Yeah.
You can trade everybody and do a point blank rebuild. People yearn to make Akron a national champion. That's what it is.
I agree.
They desperately want to do that. NCAA, like, yeah, maybe it's sort of just like similar in the sense that all the game modes are relatively like Madden. And yeah, all the gameplay will probably just be Madden, but college players. But that will be better.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point. Yeah, the dynasties are way cooler. Recruiting is cooler.
Yeah.
NIL and transfer stuff is going to make that stuff 100 times cooler. The management of your team, so much more complicated and interesting than just drafting guys. And the only way that they can mess it up is by really they need to make sure they have the recruiting and the team building stuff on lock. That could mess it up. But as long as they get that, and with all the stuff they're adding and like how specific they're getting with like all the teams having their correct chance and everything. And I mean, you play NCAA 14, that game is loved more than any Madden that's come out since. And that game is like, it's not that good, man. It's just that it's college football. Mm-hmm. Road to Glory, so much better than any sort of my career in Madden you could do.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think that's one thing why NIL and playoff expansion and the transfer portal, it doesn't kill college football because the structure is still fucking bonkers. And that's the greatest thing that college football has going for it, is just there is no sport in the world, I think, that is as batshit crazy as college football is. And
Simpson sack.
Simpson?
Yeah.
People are going to get excited about him, but number 53, their other backup linebacker, who I don't even know, I've been enjoying watching him as well.
Y'all are goated.
And he got a tackle. They swung it out to the perimeter, and he went and got it again. He was also the one that forced the fumble, and he stuffed Najee Harris at the line earlier. I've been keeping my eye on him. him and Simpson is definitely quite intriguing as a young linebacker duo to watch. Delshon Phillips, he's been nice. He did miss a tackle though. He did miss kind of a.
Yeah, but is this like the first game he's played all season?
Thoughts on the Wolves being the 1 seed for the past 2 months and how they can turn out in the NBA playoffs?
They can turn out really good. I think, right?
I think so.
They can win it. I mean, why the hell can't they?
I also still worry about Rudy Gobert getting taken out of the paint by fives who can shoot. And I don't think offensively they're that great. They're fine. They're a good offensive team. But I think there's going to be some games where it's like maybe you're going up against a team that can game plan around Gobert a little bit and Cat's having an off night. And it's like, oh, man, it was just Anthony Edwards out there. I think there's some real potential that they could have some of those games. Not enough for me to like predict them to like go like get first rounded or anything.
Their bench is nice though. So if it like they have that second wave a little bit that they could, if it does get like that, they're not totally out of it.
Thoughts on the Scotty Barnes leap? I think it's good that they're now planning to build around him. I like the Quickly acquisition. And I'm interested to see what they could get for Siakam. I don't know what Barnes is going to entirely turn into. I think he's got some crazy potential. The core of like a very complete package is there for him, I think. 15 for 17 with 78 yards. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been a lot of
this is real football.
Dump downs to Warren.
Here's a question for you guys. I feel like you might not know the answer. Did they used to like sit guys for the final game in like the 70s, or were they like, nah, we're too tough for that. We're not going to do that. I kind of would think that maybe they did.
I would kind of think that they did too. I mean, if you have nothing to play for, like guys in the 70s weren't stupid. And like the boys need a break. See, they don't want to play this game. They want to go out on the town. And I think that probably definitely existed even when the 70s were, football was being played back then. I could definitely see all the stars of the team wanting like, coach, we locked up the 1 seed. Like, let's get but at the same time, you do need to get your mind right for the playoffs. So I don't know. I think the same sort of give and take has always probably existed. I don't know though. Maybe they were just.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
70s coach impersonation.
I wasn't alive back then, so. Theo did the. Yes, see.
All right, rats. Nasty weather today. We're going to have to keep 2 hands on the football and pound the rock.
Is this your Bill Walsh impression?
I don't know what any of them sounded like. This is just my old recording that you hear on
Don
NFL
Shula.
film.
Is that Vince Lombardi?
Do you guys have a favorite announcer?
Yeah, I've got a takes on all the announcers. The most underrated duo is it Gumbel or Eagle and Charles Davis. I love those. I love those two.
Sometimes I like when I'm just if I'm like on the road and I can't watch the Browns, I love listening to
don't give me that, mister. I don't listen to the broadcasts.
I love Jim Donovan, man. Jim Donovan, the Jim Donovan quote when the Browns made the playoffs last time, where he was like, "The Browns are going to move to 11-5, and they're going to the like no one else could have done that better than him."
Paul Keel's radio guy for OSU is great, even though he went to Xavier. In spite of going to Xavier. Eric Collins is obviously up there. I love him and Del Curry.
Chris Collins.
Every once in a while, you'll listen to one of the duos because, like, you go on League Pass, so you're listening to like everybody. I think announcing is probably like way underrated in how hard it is.
It's super underrated in how hard it is.
I think
you
the
listen
number
to
of guys who are good is like probably like sub 50 in the two sports that I watch. Probably more. It's really tough. And the bad, it's like, and it's brutal because when you're bad, it's like really like, then I got to turn into Blaiden and like listen to something.
Yeah, I mean, going to sports journalism school, obviously that's a big part of it is you got to call games. I actually wish I had the opportunity to do it when I was there. I dropped out too quick. I wasn't a part of it as much as I should have been. I didn't get the full journalistic experience. I can imagine though it would be really hard. I think about the things I do, calling out what happens with the replay and after time to watch it a million times.
You got to know everybody, and it's
right
incredibly tough in football to know everybody, and you got to like make sure you have your pronunciations down, and then just to word everything right on the spot, and to mix it up, and
even having like the sheet of like the list of guys, like it's still tough to be able to like look down, call out the guy, and like keep your composure and like get through.
Oh God, Watt hurt.
Play.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! Yeah, I just saw that.
Pounding the ground.
Did he just land weird? Oh. That doesn't look good.
He's got his foot kicked.
Let's see.
Didn't look like he landed.
I don't know, man. His leg kind of hyperextended backwards a little bit.
Did it?
Yeah, kind of bent the.
Because someone like fell into him.
Yeah, it was.
I was just looking at his foot. Maybe I was.
No, it kind of straightened all the way out. That didn't look very good.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not serious, but that does not.
I mean, it's over for them if he's out.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. Watt going out. I mean, Highsmith had some decent production last year with him out, I guess. So he's not carrying the line like Max Crosby has done in the past. Like he has, but I mean, it doesn't really matter.
This game is lame, and I won't be watching. I like that out of you, Jake Johnson.
Real. Mad respect, honestly.
That's a funny statement to make. That's fine.
He walked off on his own. That's good.
I wouldn't say on his own. I mean, they're assisting him to the blue tent.
Oh yeah, he just kind of. But he's he's not on the cart. He's walking there.
But you can walk with a torn ACL.
Yeah, that didn't look like quite a torn ACL to me. It looked. I don't know though. I guess I'm not a doctor.
Oh, ACL, I feel like is more the road, like when your knee gets out of line like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm totally wrong.
Someone really dives into it. It looked like maybe his legs straightened out and maybe his ankle was.
Yeah. Hopefully it's just like a bruise or something.
Yeah. The Quentin Johnston is Keon Coleman takes are just
one is great at catching and one was terrible at catching.
Therefore, they're the same player.
They're both tall, and Keon Coleman didn't have a lot of yards, and Quentin Johnston didn't have a lot of yards this year. No, this is actually the same player. Do you ever listen to the Sampha album? His new one? No, I haven't. I should make a point to. I loved his whatever one came out in 2016. I love that album.
I don't think I'm familiar
with Sampha.
No,
you should go listen.
Is that the album with a bunch of eyes on either side of his face? I'm not totally familiar either.
Sampha. Process came out 2017.
Yeah, that's a great album. I love that album.
Okay. And then Lahai is the new one that just came out.
That I haven't listened to.
That was October.
And won't.
You won't?
I won't co-sign it just yet.
Yeah, Alex Highsmith double spin move.
Okay. Of the 49ers and Ravens, the two heavy favorites to make the Super Bowl, which one do you think is more likely to get bounced early?
More likely to get bounced early.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Um,
trying to think, just based on how like the current playoffs are gonna stack up. So the Ravens are the 1 seed, the Browns have the 5.
Yeah, I guess you could look at it like that. That's not a bad idea.
I don't know. I'm just trying to like see like who they could face in that divisional matchup.
No, I feel you.
I feel like the Ravens are more likely to play a team that can beat them.
I mean, if you feel confident in the Ravens over the Dolphins because they just blew them out,
Yeah.
it's pretty tough.
The AFC playoff race, I think, is weak.
I think the Ravens could beat the shit out of most teams. I mean, right now that defense is playing at a different level of physicality.
Yeah.
You know, Zay and Likely and like Lamar, they're all playing at about as high a level as they can. Pierce.
I mean, it's like, okay, Miami, you just beat by 30. Kansas City, just, I mean, wildly. Like, Mahomes figuring it out is always a possibility, but doing that against the Ravens defense, just tough. Jacksonville hasn't been super serious.
Yeah.
Browns, I mean, dude.
They could.
They could, but like one of these days, all those interceptions Flacco almost throws are going to get caught.
I do think the Browns have a pretty good shot, as good a shot as anybody to go away in the playoffs.
They have the defense to stifle Lamar.
And again, it's like, who else, man? It's like if they went against the Dolphins, could Tua throw 3 picks too? You know, like I think that he could. I think that the Bills, you know, everybody bills them as the team you don't want to play, but I watch them sometimes. I'm like, I don't know, I might want to play them.
But I guess I could say the same thing for the 49ers. I mean, Cowboys, they beat Lions, Tampa, Eagles, Rams, and then it's like
nice
what?
pick.
Packers or Seahawks? No offense.
None taken. I mean, I can't say that the Packers are going to beat the 49ers after what I've been through.
I think the Cowboys would be the team that would scare me the most.
But they mollywopped the Cowboys the last time they played.
Yeah, and they beat them in the playoffs like 2 other times.
You trust Philly? Philly's on like
no, exactly.
4-game losing streak or something.
I mean, that seems to be the result we're hurtling towards, right? The 49ers versus Baltimore Super Bowl. They look like the clear top 2 teams. I would say, you know, Kyle Hamilton kind of banged up. Maybe I would say that the 49ers, the NFC's a little weaker, but I don't know. You play a team like the Rams in your division, potentially. I don't know.
And the Rams are giving themselves a bit of a bye week this week. So, I don't know. Maybe they'll get right. Maybe they'll be.
Love carrying on
a little bit of fire.
The Rodgers legacy of losing to the 49ers in the playoffs. See, I trust Love is going to actually air it out in the playoffs instead of Rodgers getting conservative. So they're going to win.
Fair enough.
They got to beat the Bears first, though, which I do think that they will do. I'm not going to reverse jinx it. I do think the Packers will beat the Bears.
For your sake, I hope so.
Yeah, I think you're pretty. I mean, you got to be pretty pumped up for it. You got to be. It's a rivalry game. It's one of the few real rivalries, and it's big time because like you'll really hear it if the Bears win.
Oh man, the Bears fans are acting, and this is why I think the Packers are going to win. It's just the vibe check. It's like the Bears have been acting much too reckless, like they've won the Super Bowl. At this point, apologize for this, apologize for that. Everybody on the current team is the answer. Like, I just don't think that they are unhumbleable in their current construction. I think that a lot of the criticisms of Fields are still true. I think the criticisms of the way that they have built the roster are still true. I think the interior offensive line is still bad. The wide receivers outside of DJ Moore. I think the Packers are, I don't know, maybe Joe Barry will let Fields rush for 300 on him, but Justin Fields has never had a good game against the Packers before, and Love is on a ridiculous hot streak. I think the Packers should be favored. I mean, I don't think the Bears are playing bad right now. I think their defense is very, very good. Obviously, everybody's kind of locked in a little bit. Oh no, Phillips is here. Damn it. TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds are playing great football. Jalen Johnson is playing great football. Sweat is playing super well. Like, they're all playing good, but I do think the Packers will win.
It's so bogus that your team in like a down transitional year is going to be in the playoffs. It sucks.
It's just a good idea to build the quarterback room before you desperately need one. I think
it's so funny because so few places have replicated that whatsoever.
No one ever tries. No one thinks it's a
good
idea.
Everybody agrees that's a good idea, but when it comes time to actually pick a quarterback,
guys don't have the guts. Guys.
You already have one.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of teams have a lot of turnover within their like management room. So it's like a lot of times you're drafting more so to keep your job than to like actually build.
That's
for
true.
The future.
That's very true.
Yeah, the Packers don't have a meddling owner, and they don't have, and they've shown patience. So guys have the.
You aren't referencing any certain team when you
I'm referencing
say
every.
that, are you?
I'm referencing every team. The Panthers just have it worse than usual, but there is no.
Having a meddling owner is so funny, dude, because it's just like, well, there's just nothing we can do forever. It's just long term over. That's it. This guy thinks it's Madden, and he's calling the quarterback a point guard and not giving him any receivers, which is not ever going to be good
really,
until he sells the team.
Like, it is Madden. Like, it's just Madden for really rich people.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
For absurdly rich people. That's all it is.
It's their team.
Yeah.
It's their machine. They're the one who runs it. They're the one
to him, it's just a game.
They could swap all the parts in and out if they wanted. They just hire people who are qualified to, because they think, they have other things to worry about and they're not football experts. But if you think that you are a football expert, like Jerry Jones, you can just make all the decisions. Like, you can do it.
You get to play God a little bit,
I mean, that's what I would do if I owned a team.
That's what I'm saying.
I would be a meddling owner.
If I own the Browns, man.
Matt, I just ruined my Wii golf round with a triple bogey. I'm gonna need some advice, please. Well, I don't know. Be the ball. That's what I always try to do, and I don't know. Just general Wii golf advice. I don't know if I have any. I'd have to see your game. Lock in, go beast mode.
Lock in.
We need a film review of this dude's Wii golf performance.
Set your camera up. Make sure your form is correct. Critique yourself. Self-evaluate. Say, what am I doing wrong? And then it's reps.
Reps.
Ignore the outside noise. Focus on the details. Same as anything else.
I want to see someone post a training montage of Wii golf.
You got to do it. I'm trying to get really good at Madden right now. That's my New Year's resolution. A little bit. I'm cooking recently. I play fully zoomed in, all Madden mode. So
you got to buy yourself a helmet too.
On defense too. So I'm fully zoomed in. I can only see myself as the linebacker. I don't play from the normal. Deontay Johnson.
So are you doing franchise or are you doing like online?
Nope, I do random play nows, just over and over and over. I play now, different teams, random teams.
I play a lot of I try and find a non-juggernaut team to play as an online head-to-head. So I've been experimenting with that. The team that I found to be the most fun so far is the Rams, because the receivers are pretty good and Stafford actually hits his throws. I tried playing with Jacksonville. I thought they'd be a fun team, but Trevor
I
Lawrence missed like
cannot
so many passes.
I cannot believe that Mason Rudolph made that throw on third down to Deontay.
It was
Who
big
is
time.
Why are
that?
you
Who is
why
that
so-
who settled down? Well, someone settled down wide open. Is that Allen Robinson? And he was legitimately wide open. And I think he was so open that I don't like.
He was so
32
open that he
wide.
became not horseshoe theory on separation.
Well, he was just so open that I think maybe that pulled the safety down a little bit. Like the dig was the big time throw there.
Yeah.
That was an aggressive decision. I guess all I'm saying.
Williams
a
just
nice
missed
throw.
it. I don't know. He just didn't see him.
Yeah, he was not paying attention. They rotate.
Yeah, I think it's just that simple. He came up a little bit, and then Deontay Johnson was behind him, and he just didn't notice him there.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. I mean, the guy in front of him has
Yeah, he's got it.
he's got it covered.
Tyler Huntley legacy drive. Let's go.
Yeah, he just didn't get a ton of depth. I think, yeah, he didn't get a ton of depth, and when Johnson catches it, he's behind him. You know, that shouldn't be the case if you're the center field player. You can't let a dig get behind you. I think that Mason Rudolph in this game so far has been like 15 to 17 for 46 yards. I think that safety was cheating down a little bit based on what happened earlier, probably expecting a check down and maybe putting himself in position to defend something underneath. And then when Mason Rudolph makes the aggressive decision, passes up the guy who's open to push it a little bit more, he just wasn't in a spot to defend that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and I think you're fine being a little bit aggressive there because again,
Well, no.
you don't care if you lose this. Like ultimately,
Yes,
if you lose,
you're trying to send the Steelers home. The Steelers always beat you in the playoffs. As the defender, you're not fine. Like, oh, we don't care. We could just creep up.
I'm just saying, like,
Is Sponhauer your real last name, Matt? It seems so fake. It does seem kind of fake, but it is.
I don't think it's
When I was at the Super Bowl, I was told by Nate Tice that Seth Galina, PFF Seth, thought my name was an alias.
What? Was this? He had already been on our podcast, right?
Yeah, I've been on our. But he thought Theo Ash was a fake name, apparently.
Why didn't he bring it up when we had him on?
Because it's not a fake name.
I could see it.
Theo Ash being an alias. I should have done an alias. Although Theo Ash is kind of a clean.
I mean, your original alias was 16 game sample size.
It's true. Those are the good old days, man.
Those were the good old days. The switch from 16 game sample size.
It was back when we didn't have a care in the world,
Mm-hmm.
Back when I was posting like 6 times a day.
Melvin Gordon being relevant is funny.
What's up with Malachi Nelson? I don't know, man. I mean, I'm assuming that you obviously haven't gotten to see him play much, but I'm assuming things aren't going well. It's the only reason I can think of.
All right. We need a Laquan Treadwell big play here.
Let's be real. David Portnoy has fallen off since beefing with me. I have not heard his name a fraction as much starting exactly then. Maybe
I was at the bar the other day and I heard somebody across being like, Yeah, I just haven't really messed with Dave Portnoy as much as I used to ever since he beefed with Theo Ash.
Exactly. It's crazy
And he
that you heard
lost.
someone
He
say that.
lost to Theo Ash in the beef.
People always lose to me, man. I'm undefeated when I when I go
He's
on the
undefeated
offensive.
in beef.
I am undefeated. I have so much stuff I could still victory lap, including with you guys. I saw the video the other day of my Eagles not a top 10 defense take on Stay Hot. We posted that clip, and it
When
has
was that?
That was this off season,
Fair enough.
and
Yeah,
all the comments are like, "This is just Theo trying too hard to be different." Over
that's
1,000
well.
comments.
This is where I very much differ from people. I disagree. I hate when people are like, "You're trying to be different." No, it's not that.
We just thought you were wrong.
Yeah, I didn't think you were like making it up.
Well, it's not really with you guys, although it's with the comments of that video being like, "This is why I never listen to Theo, always saying crazy shit."
Well, I'm trying to think of a take that I won. Giants.
You didn't.
That was my
Yeah.
big win.
Hey, Aguilar's catching him.
Thoughts on the Ravens signing Dalvin Cook? Well, the thing about Dalvin Cook is that he's not that good. But, I mean, I get adding to the running back room if you're them. He might be better than Melvin Gordon, you know.
Right.
It's a shame that this Ravens team cannot get like a super sick running back. They should have one.
They
did
should have
try.
one, and Mitchell was.
You're right. They should have one.
And then Edwards and Mitchell really sufficed, I thought.
Yeah, no, they've been good this year. They have.
But without Mitchell, kind of that, there's not a lot of oomph or speed. There is a lot of oomph. There's not a lot of speed.
Their running backs always get hurt. Always. No?
Was Ray Rice really injury prone? I
was thinking more in the immediate.
Like
the last few years, it always feels like they're down to like the 9th guy or whatever. They're always down to like we have to pick up people off the street.
That was good. Oh, never mind. Montravius Adams, Packers legend. This was J.K. year, man. J.K. Dobbins, come back for the playoffs. Do what Rodgers couldn't.
J.K. Dobbins, comeback player of the year.
Come back for the playoffs. Pretend like it's 2019 again, and you're on that hot streak. And then when you win the Super Bowl and you win Super Bowl MVP and you have 1,000 yards in the playoffs, you say, and it's all because I was incredibly vaxxed. It's because I'm one of the most vaxxed people living, and that's what allowed me to do it.
I've been vaxxed twice, boosted 3 times.
Would the Eagles giving Penny's the reps in the playoffs actually move the needle? It would if he looks like Seahawks Penny. Obviously, he is inactive most days, so he probably isn't that good. But
dude, you tweeted about him the other day, I think, and I just went to your account and I searched Penny in the search for dude.
He's one of those guys.
I hope that works out.
It's been such a fruitless agenda, even though he's always been so efficient.
I can't watch the game right now. What's going on? The Ravens are losing.
What is going on right now is they're playing in a total downpour. There have been several fumbles.
Yes.
The Ravens have not been able to contain TJ Watt at all, and he keeps putting them behind the sticks. They had one good drive, and then the rest have all been, I think, punts. And then on the Steelers side, they haven't really been able to push the ball down the field either. but their running game has been a bit more consistent. And then they hit the one big one they hit a big touchdown to Deontay Johnson on a dig where the safety played too high or too low, I should say. And then Johnson beat the corner and there was no one back there to stop him on his way to the end zone.
I think that sums it up. Nelson Aguilar's been the wide receiver one for the Ravens today. So,
yeah, that's the other thing is this offense just doesn't have a lot of pop to it without Zay. I think that it's been good that they kept Likely in because without him, they would really not be explosive. And Likely's the guy that they had to go to for that touchdown and he broke a tackle.
Yep.
So
Likely's good. He's real nice.
Likely's really nice. He was someone that was a real joy to watch at Coastal Carolina. He broke out like 80-yard touchdowns all the time. Like he was super vertical as a tight end and like had all these crazy plays with Grayson McCall. But then he sucked at the combine. Like he didn't test well at all. And he fell in the draft. And I was like, I don't know if what I saw was real.
It was real, man.
Got to be the best tight end duo. I think so, unless there's somebody I'm forgetting.
The best tight end duo?
Probably Likely and Andrews.
Yeah, it's them.
I can't think of anybody else.
Kyle Pitts and Jonnu Smith.
You mean John?
Honestly, pretty good.
Pitts.
Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft coming up, though.
Come on, man.
We
It's
all
great.
know
It's crazy because you're leaving out the best Packers tight end from that list.
The one who is not a tight end anymore and is now a fullback that just false starts.
Shout out to him.
The real best tight end duo is
It's a
David Njoku and Harrison Bryant. Let's be
David
real.
Njoku is a fucking beast. He's
so
up there
good.
in top tight end conversations. I feel like he's
If I put Tommy Tremble as part of a best tight end duo, will y'all say something or let it ride?
So with 84 Sullivan or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll let you like bring back Prime Greg Olson to include in this conversation.
He was so nice. He used to be so nice.
What's the Stay Hot podcast thoughts on the Mario starting 22 team? I really thought it was a bad list, I've got to say. I didn't think that it was too many good fits, but you kind of got to reach into the Mario character lore to get the optimal team. The Mario
team. Where it's his football team, but it's Mario, and then it's like I'd put a Goomba at quarterback, and I'd put.
Oh, hold on.
Where
do I find this?
Haven't you seen it on Twitter today? I quote tweeted it and said I wanted 22 Monty Moles, and we're running wing
Is Ryan Plummer 22-man roster for Mario football?
Yeah, that's it. Toad at middle linebacker is insane. He is not stopping anything. We're running duo and another near fumble.
I do have a problem with the offense off rip. The bullet bill should be at running back.
I agree with that. It's going to be tough to complete a pass to him.
That's what I'm thinking, right?
I think it'd be tough for him to play. I think he has to be on defense. He has no hands. He can't hold the ball.
He does have hands. He does have hands. But the problem with throwing to him is that he moves so fast.
And his hands are too far apart.
How are you going to hit an accurate pass to him?
It's not going to make it hard for him to hold the ball.
I just think you hand him the rock. He can hold it in one hand. That's fine. You just hold him the rock and let him plow through people.
Daisy, the best athlete on the team. Yeah, Daisy, I would rather have at wide receiver, I think. I don't want Daisy hitting anybody. Like, there needs to be a physical aspect that I just don't think Daisy and Peach can. I don't think that is maximizing them as I think putting Daisy like in space with the ball in her hands would create.
I think Luigi would be like a Kyle Hamilton type.
What makes you think that?
He's kind of tall, and Kyle Hamilton's kind of tall.
Luigi is kind of tall, isn't he?
I don't know.
The cloud guy is begging to be Kevin King. Now, I would put the cloud guy and Paratroopa at safety because they can fly, You could
Yeah.
not pass the ball. You could have them at about not only at depth, but also at a certain height in the air. Imagine that taking away dig routes or something.
I
Like
think
you couldn't.
I think the best picks here are Donkey Kong and the bomb off the edge.
The bomb. What is a bomb gonna do?
He can literally blow up.
Okay, well
Just
that's
run away
then
from
he's
him.
done. Then he's out.
I'm booting away from the bomb.
Yeah, but assume he respawns every play.
No.
What?
Well
These are video game
then whatever. You
characters.
can just have Bowser just shoot fire at the quarterback. Okay.
The
They
real-
get their powers. What? If we're gonna be like, well, Boo can fly.
That's the question that nobody is talking about: is how does the flying impact everything that happens on the court? If you can give it to someone who can fly,
Oh,
the whole team needs to be able to fly. Like it would be like Bowser might be like everybody who can't fly might be obsolete. You may have to play this game starting on the ground, of course, to snap the ball, but it might be played in the air, the whole thing. Because if you have a guy who could fly, like why wouldn't you give it to them?
Okay, well
So
then wouldn't you just
everybody-
keep going up? Couldn't you just keep going up and up?
That's
and up
exactly the
and then
thing
eventually
I'm wondering.
you
But
just
if you keep
come
going,
back to
that's
the
almost
ground.
like moving laterally, you know, that might be exerting a lot of effort to not go anywhere. So I think it would still be, you know, trying to move the ball down the field,
Yeah.
but it would be played on like a 3D type of plane. So I think the flying characters, like if you're gonna include them at all, like they're really gonna be game changers.
I think no flying.
I also
No flying.
Bowser
flying.
Jr. at guard is an insane liability. I'm sorry, bro. He is getting pushed
So
out.
who
of
would
the
you
way.
who would you pick?
I think you need more Critter, that crocodile guy who plays goalkeeper in Mario
Yes.
Super Strikers.
Yes.
That's you need some of him on the roster. He's got crazy long arms, like a really chiseled
this
upper
is-
body.
And what are the stone smasher things? Like I get that he's
womp.
like the womp.
He needs to be on the interior, not out
He
attack.
yeah he can't. He will get no depth. He's gonna get no
He
depth.
needs to
at
be
Well,
all.
is he allowed to crush you to death? Because then he becomes
Well, I mean,
a
you
lot
would
more
just move out of the
valuable
way. You would just move out
as
of
an
the
interior
way.
offensive lineman. You would probably have to invent new running plays that involve defensive linemen being scared of being crushed to death by the thwomp.
The bullet bill would really be overpowered. I might have him at quarterback. All he would need to do is catch the snap because his
Just
catch
direct
radius
snap.
can't be big. And then if he went straight ahead, if you're playing other Mario characters or people, like there's nothing that he doesn't go through. So
Mario at quarterback is like putting Teddy Bridgewater out there. What does everybody have against good old Mario?
Mario is a perfectly fine quarterback.
I think Mario might be a little gothy, I'm afraid.
he's got the main character luck on his side.
That's what I'm
that Tom
saying.
Brady has. You know, like he has plot armor. You definitely need him at quarterback.
Mariota is Tom Brady. He's Joe Montana. He's gonna be the greatest of all time.
The fumbles
Yeah.
here are out of control in this game.
There's a lot of questionable, but he said there's explanations. So let me read these explanations.
Dude, what is going on? Oh, they're still fighting.
So apparently he has Daisy at strong safety because she can hit.
I guess in Super Strikers, that's when you see them be a little bit more physical.
And she also is like, he's like, look at her pointing. She can like direct the defense around.
I'm sorry. Look at the build, man. She's not making it at safety. She's too skinny. I just want a bigger body out there.
But you guys aren't looking anything about like how skilled they are in their position. You're just looking at, their RAS score or whatever, and that's fine. But
I just think that physicality is a part of. I think that Daisy has a crazy skill set, but I just would rather see her at wide receiver.
I think Toad could be an Ivan Pace type.
He just
Toad
wants
on
it, man.
what is Toad doing on a blitz, man? I'd just kick him.
No. Toad, I can see the vision here. Toad, I feel like is dedicated.
Toad is not in the fucking game, man. Toad is on the bench or in the stands. Like Toad is not entering a football game to me.
I'm surprised Goomba like no Goombas, like the giant Goombas aren't on the roster.
Because you can stomp them.
But what about the
They have
big
no
ones?
arms and they are slow.
I
I'm
guess
Like,
that's
what
surprised
are they
these
doing on the field?
these stupid armless little creatures are not on the football team. What
Toad
up
is
with
there.
that?
Toad is there to be helpful. Like he's given water like to the actual athletes.
Toad's at
but
middle.
Toad is not
Toad's
an
at middle
athletic guy.
linebacker.
Who would be head coach?
Definitely
Has
that
to be a
old
good guy.
Toad mushroom guy. He's seen it all.
Okay. Toad's a
Toad's
locker room guy. That's true.
I think I'm the head coach.
I could see Toad being like, "Coach is right," or however he talks. Coach is right.
Najee.
Maybe Birdo should be the QB.
There we go. The Steelers are bringing the physical aspect.
Najee really. Sometimes those big guys just got to learn to run a little bit different, to just get a little bit more downhill and just tighten up a little. Derrick Henry did the same stuff in his career. Now Najee, also a big guy. Who was it who talked to Derrick Henry and was like, was it Eddie George?
Yeah, I
Am I
think it was
making that up? Eddie George. I don't know what I forget what it was. Something along the lines of like, you got to run better.
Yeah, I think
You
you
could-
just
you
like
could
you're
do
a
better.
like just go beast mode basically.
Yeah, it was just go beast mode.
Funky Kong would dominate. He's got some Max Crosby in him.
Funky Kong. Hold on. I don't think this guy got deep enough in his bag when he made this list.
Kamek has the best play calls. A Kamek versus who's the guy on the cloud? How do you pronounce Liatu? I think both of them could be
No.
fire OCs.
The guy on the cloud they have at corner. The guy in the cloud kind of looks like
True, if he's on a cloud, he might
Mike
need to be
McDaniel.
playing.
The guy in the cloud kind of looks like Mike McDaniel a little bit.
Well, wouldn't he be the ref? He's always the one reffing everything, I feel like.
Maybe. I don't know.
Why
How
if
would
you
that-
started if you bet on George Pickens in this game, I'm sorry, that is on you. That is on you. I don't think that was a good bet. It's pouring rain. You got to check the weather. And
Gotta check the weather.
they're playing a top defense, starting a lot of their starters. And they've been like pounding the ball on the ground, and you bet. And George Pickens has been like really inconsistent game to game. I'm sorry.
You should be sorry.
She might be the hardest. Yeah, dude, the last 2 weeks he has been looking like almost high school film with some of his runs, like the amount of tackles he's broken. It's been.
This is a career path that all first round running backs should try to follow. First couple of years, just take it easy, chill out.
Lower
Don't do
everyone's
anything crazy. Your draft capital is still there. Then right around the time when the question marks start to arise and the contract might be coming up, then you start to pick it up.
There you go.
Funky Kong recruiting like Coach Prime. He's a charismatic guy. He always had the best battle arena on the Wii version. If you played battle like Coin Runners or whatever, Funky Kong Stadium, banger map. They do not have any good battle locations on that like that on the Switch. So Funky Kong could move me. You know, he plays a high flying type. If that's his vision, like the high flying action. Chain Chomp versus Bullet Bill in the hole would be crazy.
That might be the matchup of the century.
Baby Mario, where does he fare? He's not on the field. All right, he's
Yeah,
a baby. All right, this is a grown man sport. Get this Toad, Baby Mario. Just because they're characters doesn't mean they need to be on the team. All right, we're putting the
That's
22
fair.
best out there. Like, I don't want to see any babies. What are they going to do when they've got a block for King K. Rule on Duo? This is a football game.
All right.
We're
I'm
gonna
looking at the
hit,
Mario
gentlemen.
Super Sluggers lineup here.
We're going to hit. I might want Rosalina at quarterback, low key. I feel like her accuracy.
Oh, you know
is
what?
crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like
Doesn't she
could,
have a
like,
wand that she shoots stuff with?
Yeah, I think so. Like,
I don't know how that really translates to,
I think that she
you
could
know.
put the ball in some crazy location.
So here's the real question: are we allowed to have both Hammer Bro and Boomerang Bro, and Fire Bro?
I think so. I think if with those positions that are multiples, like if you were putting on a football game in the Mario world, like there are multiple Hammer Bros. So I
That's
feel
what I'm
like you
saying.
could you could build the team out of all of one thing.
Like I would have, honestly, I would probably put like, if we're doing like ground players, I would probably put like Hammer Bro, Fire Bro, and Boomerang Bro at linebacker, and then I'm doing like, give me some of the dry bones guys as like the alternates.
Sonic versus Sonic is beating the Mario team unless flight really plays a factor. We've got Sonic running a
They got
dig.
tails,
Like,
bro.
who is keeping up with them in Mario? Look at the Mario secondary. Like it would be like the all white versus black team.
Dog,
It would
Trenton
be
Simpson.
It would be bad.
The
Like who in Mario is crazy fast?
maybe it'd be dang.
You had to have
Maybe
been
it'd be a funny
untouched
idea to
already.
like, here's
Yeah,
the
bro.
Panthers starting 22 represented by Mario characters, and then I could put like, you know, like all the offensive linemen are Goombas or whatever, and then quarterback is Baby Mario, and
I don't know enough about the Sonic universe. I'm putting Eggman in at quarterback, and he's moving like Big Ben.
So real. Someone says Sonic isn't quarterbacky enough.
oh, the Master Hand from Smash Bros.
Blooper could be a game changer.
Ooh,
How often does he get to ink
Master Hand is
everybody?
a crazy pull. Is he? I don't think he qualifies because he's not in the Mario universe. He's in the
I guess
Smash.
not. I guess not.
They should make a Mario football game. All the Mario sports games just go hard. The
Dog.
cartoony,
Oh my god.
arcadey.
I love Super Sluggers.
Super Sluggers is dope. I've always been a big Super Strikers fan when you can just beat the shit out of people and score goals. Just that physical aspect, man. There's not enough sports with it. I don't get to deck someone.
Oh, and you know what? In Super Sluggers, if you have two players with chemistry, like if you have two Yoshis or if you have Mario and Luigi, you can do like the buddy jump.
That's right.
So that would
Super Sluggers was
counteract the
better, too.
flying thing. That would counteract the flying thing a little bit. Just saying.
Luigi equals Rogers.
Luigi is Rogers. Why is Luigi Rogers?
No, Waluigi is more.
Because he lives in
more
Mario's
prone
shadow.
To,
Nintendo, get on that. If you make a Mario football game,
I just don't think they ever will because it's kind of got a small audience or small.
Yeah, the guy talking about
It's
how
only one. Yeah.
one country, like how it wouldn't sell in Japan. That probably like all the. They'd be like, what is Nintendo doing?
But it would be dang cool.
It would be dang cool.
Outside.
I'll call.
That would just be
we'll
so
make a
funny.
knockoff.
Them or basketball, like calling
is-
outside zone.
Can you not? I thought there was like a mini game where you can play basketball in Mario. In one of the
Yeah,
Mario games.
there's one. I forget which one it is, but there is. What I need is the Wii Sports Resort basketball game mode more fleshed out.
Yeah, I could see that.
That game was awesome. And baseball from Wii Sports. Baseball from Wii Sports is awesome. That's so fun to sit there and like try to think of like the pitch you're gonna give your friend, and like, you know, it's like, all right, I got him now.
Apparently, they were in an official NBA Street game. Okay, so then here's what EA needs to do. EA needs to call Nintendo and say, "Hey, we'll pay for the rights. We need Mario in the gang in one of our Madden games." This is how we make Madden relevant again. Oh, hold on.
Nice move. Nice run. Nice run.
There we go.
Oh, the linebacker. There was not a linebacker on the screen when they caught that check down.
Wii Sports Resort plane game is goated. Oh, dude, absolutely. Flying around the map and you're going in the volcano.
I was always
Special.
a big fan of the sword game.
That one stresses me out. I can't play that one.
Scared to compete. That's the best one.
Scared to compete.
I'm not scared to compete. That's just one. That one just stresses
Why
me
is it
out.
scary?
It's not scary. It just stresses me out.
Because it's intense. It's you get the real one-on-one.
Theo, have we ever played in Madden?
I don't know. Hold
It's
on.
cross-platform. You can. No excuses.
Wii Sports Resort is better than Wii Sports. That's true, but they really, really needed to put baseball back in that one, man. They really missed by not putting baseball in Wii Sports Resort. And the new one, Switch Sports, I like it because you can play golf online, but their other sports selection was just atrocious, man. They just did a horrible job with it. Volleyball, badminton. No.
More like good mitten.
That was
Well, I don't need. It's like they put in like volleyball and badminton and tennis. I just need one of those. They're all basically the same.
Volleyball, badminton, and tennis basically the same.
They are fundamentally. They're kind of they are.
Hit ball over net, I guess.
Yeah. In real life, they're a
Oh,
lot.
tough.
Obviously they're very different. But
How does Baltimore have no timeouts? I haven't been paying enough attention.
Yeah, we got distracted talking about Mario.
like, if even if it just had 8 games, if you could do basketball online and baseball online, even just those two would make it, man.
Thoughts on Lamar unanimous MVP? I don't think he'll win unanimously at all. In fact, I think it could be a little bit closer than people think.
The betting odds are minus 20,000.
I think he'll win, but I do think that there are other valid answers this year. I think that there's going to be a couple McCaffrey voters. I'm sure there's going to be. I think there's going to be a couple Josh Allen voters, which is fine. I don't think that those are necessarily unreasonable picks. There's going to be one TJ Watt voter from Pittsburgh. There's going to be Montrevious. No, that was not good. Yeah, I think Mason Rudolph looks a little bit like Schmidt from New Girl.
I see it. Yeah, and ping pong. Yes, ping pong was goated from Resort. That's what kills me. 3 net sports, and they didn't use the one that was actually the best. Ping pong was the best one. And it's killer because you can play them all online, and that makes it so much better. But they just didn't put in any of the good games outside of golf, which, to be fair, to be clear, they did not add any new holes. Which is I can live with. And they kind of fiddled with the mechanics. I didn't like
Flacco or Hamlin for comeback player of the year. I'm 100% voting for DeMar Hamlin for comeback player of the year. I mean, let's be real here. That guy was dead and came back. I mean,
I always thought, like, I don't want to give, like, what is the point of giving an award to the guy who just, like, it's like, okay, big injuries are tough to come back from, but it's like, I don't want to give it to just like whichever star player got hurt last year. I want to get like, it's interesting. Like, it's more interesting to give it to the guy who's like came back from the biggest injury.
Yeah, I think that it is kind of an overcoming adversity award. And what adversity did Flacco overcome? Like being old,
being bad.
He didn't want to sign with. He didn't want to go to training camp, so he waited to sign until someone got hurt late in the year. Like, what exactly is Flacco coming back from? He's had the most normal career like ever for a quarterback. Like, he gets drafted in the first round. He's a starter for a long time. And then once he gets old, he becomes kind of a mercenary and signs midway through the season. That's not a comeback. That's just him being an old vet quarterback. Like, voting for like Flacco shouldn't receive a vote for comeback player of the year. Like, he has overcome zero like adverse. Like, compared to other players, compared to what Hamlin like went through and he almost died. Like Flacco. Look, I love watching Flacco like after the games. I get that, he was out of the league and he's come back and played well. Like, he's a good story, but
it's a good story, but it's not like, I agree, Theo. It's like, what is he actually coming back from?
And I don't think the comeback player of the year has to have an actual good season. Like, where does it say that? Like, they just need to overcome the most adversity, I think.
I agree that most improved should be a thing. And what's up, Jack? But it should it should be a thing.
Hamlin doesn't even play though. I've seen him out there, and he came back to like, I would 100% get just like quitting football if you like.
Yeah, like the fact that he's on the team is pretty astounding.
People just, I think, are trying too hard to be different with the Hamlin thing to be complete. Like, they're like, Hamlin didn't like, I don't care. Like, but come on, like put it in perspective. I think that it's like, people get so mad. They're like, oh, you're just gonna win comeback player of the year just because he died. Like let's stand back and think about what you actually just said.
Well, it's because if the media talks about something enough, if that happens in sports media, people will turn against it, no matter what it is. No matter what it is. Yeah. If you get one too many Hoop Central posts, bad news, man. I actually think you suck.
You know what?
You get posted one time.
Is anybody else getting sick of hearing about fill in the blank? Am I the only one who thinks fill in the blank is getting a little overrated?
Well, it's not looking good for the Ravens.
It is not.
45 seconds.
And they need 10 points. That's 1 point every 4.5 seconds. That's tough.
So touchdown here, or do you kick the field goal now, try and get an onside kick?
Would I consider Tua eligible for comeback player of the year?
I think you go for the touchdown, Blaiden.
I think that he did go through a lot last year. I don't want to I think the way you interpret the award is it's kind of a personal thing. But yeah, I don't think it's horrible to vote for Tua.
Finally,
the top four in betting odds are Hamlin, Flacco, Baker, and Stafford.
What is Baker coming back from?
Being on the Panthers, bro. This is so tough.
Being ass? Like, he didn't come back from what? Like,
he made it out, man.
The thing is, like, no one understands what this award is supposed to be.
It's fourth down now. I think you have to kick the field goal at this point.
Yeah, kick it and kick an onside kick. Yeah.
Yep.
Theo for football TikTok MVP. Look, man, I vote for me. I don't know who else it would be. Matt, Blaiden. It's got to be you guys football TikTok MVP.
No,
I don't know.
It's gotta go to Theo Ash NFL. Maybe. I'm trying to think if there's
you'd be a worthy nomination.
I feel
like Nico had a pretty good year. I don't know how his predictions went, but
Yeah.
Maybe that's the thing. Theo, I feel like you got a lot right.
I just hit the I hit the run around in the backfield, pass down the field type throws.
Corporate spawn hours TikTok MVP. That's
That's valid. If you consider what the spawn hour account did across all accounts.
Hard to compete with that.
I saw the clip the other day of us talking about that. I love making videos where you get very serious comments about something you're like obviously kidding about. That just kills me. Like the one where it's like I was implying that I was 15 years old and I've got all like the stubble and the beard or whatever, and it's like obvious. And then other
You've
people
got
are
to do
like,
something that sets you apart.
it's like
yeah.
you are graduated from high school.
He was just really smart.
I love. He's just real smart. I think that's exactly what you said in the clip, if I'm not
Did I?
mistaken. Yeah.
Some things never change.
Kurt Benkert. I mean, obviously he knows what's going on. Like when you do a review, like when he breaks something down, like he's saying the right things, but like I just think that he takes narratives and like runs with them like way too much. Like
I think it's
Purdy is
easy
Drew
to do that,
Brees, and I do the same thing. It's just about different players, Like,
Typically,
Drew Brees was
typically
a
when I'm about to
kind of
give like a
crazy
big
take.
time take, I think would this be wiser? Turn down 20%, and the answer is almost always yeah.
yeah.
Legacy onside kick
Oh.
for
Oh,
He-
slipped a little bit, but
that's on Tucker. That's on Tucker, man.
he's 1 for 16.
What
in
is
his
his?
career in onside kicks.
Oh, 1 for 16. That can't be an
Yeah.
elite percentage. Although
What's the average? Like NFL average of onside kick?
that's something I don't think that is easily find outable.
Onside kick success
Oh
rate.
wait. Yes, it is. I thought you meant for like an average kicker. On Madden, Charles Davis says the most out of pocket shit when you're about to kick an onside kick. He's like, I heard that the onside kick has like a 20% success rate, or he says some number that has to be ridiculously high.
What? 20%? There's no shot.
No, it's not that high.
Wow. So Justin Tucker unable to eliminate the Steelers from the playoffs here.
It's a
Still have a
3.2
shot.
success rate. And guess what? Tucker is at 6. So he's double.
Hey.
No, it's not a 3% success rate.
That's what it
You
says.
lied. No, you lied.
Don't believe everything you read online.
I wish I was free from my Tucker hate. I don't really care at all, but then every time he misses, if I don't say something,
Who do you hate
I
more, Justin Tucker or Steph Curry?
What you really should be doing,
Well,
and what would be a way more
the way he was
fruitful
playing,
agenda,
bro.
Matt, was that you should have really leaned into AJ Cole being
punter?
he should be on the list instead of trying to knock Tucker down the list.
But my real problem was that Tucker is not the 5th best player in the NFL.
Well, that's the dumb take to have. Like your take, which would be
No,
correct,
it's not. It's
is,
true.
Who is better?
What do you mean? Who is name 4 players better than Justin Tucker?
Maybe this year, but like at the time, like,
Maybe this year. Come on,
dog, all of his kicks get blocked. Like I don't know how.
he's kicking them too low, and
I don't know how you can say like quantify Justin Tucker. Like he's the GOAT at his position. Like, what do you mean he's not top 5? Like he's below Mike. Is Mike Evans? He's better than all the other ones though. Like he's not worse than Mike Evans. Like Mike Evans is really good.
Okay, what about Micah Parsons?
Sure, Micah Parsons can be
okay.
up there
Well,
as
I want to
top
make it
5
clear. I
player
want to
in
make
the
it clear. I want to make it clear. You had him ranked 5 or 6. Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, Patrick Mahomes.
There's 5 better
McCaffrey,
players on the
Tyreek Hill.
Ravens. That is not true. Like maybe, like Lamar is obviously up there as an elite player. Maybe Kyle Hamilton has gotten to this point. Roquan, But who else? Like, there's not 5, certainly. And Justin Tucker is just as good as any of those guys. Like, he just is that good.
He's just not the 5th best player in the
Matt,
NFL.
Matt, I'm gonna let you have it because
oh my God, why are we folding to this?
No, I'm
singled out as the lunatic.
Theo, we know the truth here. I'm just saying, like, we're never gonna convince him.
We can make
him
think that we agree.
Yeah, well, we're never gonna convince him, but
that won't stop me.
10-win Steelers, though. I guess as the post-game show is wrapping up, we didn't really talk about them much.
It was not a great game, I'm afraid.
Yeah, they're built to win these types of games too.
They are.
In the rain, they're running back to Warren and Najee, and their offensive line, especially run blocking, has really locked in here recently. The Ravens just can't out physical them with so many players out, or it's hard to out physical them at all. But
yeah,
I guess with their players that they have out, you can't out physical and you can't outpace them through the air and the rain. So a really good matchup for the Steelers. They always seem to have success against the Ravens. I think the fact that it was raining, obviously they fumbled a shit ton, so it didn't play into their
most fumbles in a game since 1996.
Good stat. Good stat. I like that. So
NFL
yeah, good for the
Gen
Steelers.
Stats.
They've got, I like that Joey Porter Jr. has kind of locked in here, and Hayward and Water obviously a problem. Like Minka on the back end, although he's
Joey Porter's had like a pretty good year.
He's had a really good rookie year.
So
I didn't think Mason played anything too crazy, but he didn't play bad either.
He hit that
big throw. That's kind of all he needed to do in a game like this.
I mean, that pretty much won them the game, if we're being real.
I think, they're probably not the toughest out if they get to the playoffs, if we're being real, but, you never know what could happen if they can wrestle you to the ground. Like if it's raining, they force a couple turnovers, like all of a sudden you're in big trouble against a team like that. And, some teams just suck and the Steelers aren't one of them, and here they are.
So shout out to them for not sucking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, the only thing they need to make the playoffs, they either need a Dolphins win or a Titans win. Titans play the Jags, Dolphins play the Bills.
Either could happen.
They need, what was the first thing? A Jaguars win or a Titans win?
No, either a Titans win or a Dolphins win. Either of those teams winning would get them to the playoffs.
I think it's impossible to know how to feel right now about that. I think that Dolphins-Bills is pretty evenly matched. I think, banged up.
You should feel better about it than.
So, yeah, I think
you got 2 chances basically, and one of them is a 50-50 game. So I feel like you got to feel better than 50-50.
Yeah. I mean, the New York Times site has them at 72%. So
that seems about right.
That's pretty good. Pretty good odds. And then they'd probably be, the 6th seed? Is that right?
6 or 7, something like that.
And
I think they'd be the 7, right?
Would they be the 7? Currently, as it's okay. So if I can just find that out. If the Titans win, they will be.
Are the Bills out if they lose? Yeah, right. Because the Steelers. Well, I don't know. I guess. Well, here we go. Twitter always knows the answer, and the great Brian Knowles has given us all the scenarios.
Okay.
In the graphic.
There we go.
Although I'm a little bit confused on quite what I'm looking at. So Pittsburgh won. They could still be the 7 seed. They could still be the 6 seed, basically. It's
kind of a 50-50 either.
And there's a lot of things that could happen depending on the Indy game and the Miami game and the Jacksonville game kind of still. Actually, the Jacksonville game doesn't really impact their seeding too.
I think it's mostly the Bills-Dolphins game that impacts the seeding.
Yeah, so yeah, it'll be either 6 or 7.
But hey,
Theo's if the Bills lose, my take could age like wine. Well, I had them in the play. I folded, so I can't victory lap it too much. But if you guys want to post it and say, before I change my mind and go to the Bills frauds video and say like, wow, Theo Ash NFL really called this, and pretend like
It's so funny. It's like they're either out of the playoffs or they win their division with
or they're
11
the 2
wins.
seed,
It's like
right? They're out or they're 2 seed.
So it's like,
yeah,
that's crazy.
It is a really interesting scenario.
it would be nuts. It would be pretty nuts. But I think that's pretty much all we have for today. Colts and Texans are about to play. That game should be probably more interesting than this one because it won't be a monsoon and they won't have all of their starters out. But hey, who knows? Maybe we should have been live for that game. But thank you all for tuning in regardless. It's been an absolute blast. We'll be back to recap the final week of the NFL season, get ready for the playoffs on our normal Monday morning episode. We're back to our normal routine. But thank you all for tuning in. And until next time, we'll catch you on the Flippity Flop.